Is it that someone is getting the clearance, the security clearances that they need to get access to this information, when they are making it abundantly clear they don't like this president, they don't like the direction of the country? Joining me right now for analysis, Fox News anchor and former defense attorney Gregg Jarrett, Fox News contributor Mercedes Schlapp, and former chairman of the D.C. Democratic Party, Scott Bolden. I'm going to start with you, Gregg. I mean, we went through this, right, already with Ed Snowden.
Right.
He was given clearances that he shouldn't have had. He was a contractor who then went out and leaked it all. So have we not learned anything? Why are we employing people that are risk?
One is tempted to say you shouldn't give top secret security clearance to a 25-year-old. But beyond that, this is the problem with government contractors that are, with private firms. There isn't enough vetting and background checks. And importantly, as Adam pointed out, there's not sufficient monitoring of their activities. She was an adamant Trump hater on Twitter and social media. That should have been a red flag. Yeah, her name, Reality Winner, ought to have been a red flag, but now Reality Winner.
I keep wondering if that's real. Was that some, play on words that she was using?
Her mother has the last name Winner as a hyphen, but Winner is about to get a reality check on being a loser because they got the goods on her. She confessed, and my guess is a judge will show no leniency, throw the book at her, 10 years behind bars, and the First Amendment is not a defense.
Mercedes, how do you get anything done right now in Washington when you get people in the intelligence community, frankly, conspiring against you?
Well, let's first say that, as a contractor, she doesn't necessarily have that loyalty to, let's say, the organization as would someone, a career intelligence
I get it, but then why does she get access to the information? Shouldn't we be more vigilant with the things we allow these people to see?
Right. I mean, Gregg is right. I think the vetting process is incredibly important. But even with the vetting process, it becomes... there really is that unexpected situation where there could be someone who's going to leak information. In her case, it was very clear based on her Twitter activity, based on who she was following. She follows WikiLeaks. She follows Edward Snowden. I mean, there is a trend here where you look at her background and you have to ask yourself the question that despite the fact she speaks these languages that they need in this cryptic language center, she's not the right person to be sharing this information. But you're going to have a mole in certain cases. And I think when it comes to these contractors, the risk is higher.
And do you think there is more, Scott, where she came from?
I certainly hope not. I'm never going to endorse anyone leaking classified information. And if she's proven to do this, then she ought to be prosecuted. But let's be real clear here. Her political beliefs and her social media platform, simply because she's against Donald Trump, is not a litmus test in regard to whether she should have a security clearance. In fact, it would be inappropriate, if not illegal, to bar her.
Let me just jump in and let's talk about
because she doesn't support Donald Trump.
Let's talk about judgment. You already heard Adam say she was tweeting things out that we can't say for FCC rules on television. That, to me, tells me someone does not have the judgment to be looking at classified information. You cannot
simply because
trust someone
I tweet that I don't like the president and I use profanity.
Obscenity.
That's it. That's it.
Yes,
because I use
me,
profanity.
If you're out there
I can't
swearing
get a
away
security
on Twitter,
clearance.
Scott, you have no judgment.
That's not the law. That's not the rule either. If I don't like the president and I use profanity and blasting the president, I have a First Amendment right to do that. I don't have any rights to leak classified information, though, and she's going to be prosecuted.
But
there's no bridge there
you're somehow,
here, Trish.
I would just say that we need to have better standard in terms of the people that we're employing, because a 25-year-old thinks it's okay to be out there. I'll tell you, we get 25-year-olds on the team right here, and they're not out there swearing their heads off on Twitter.
And there are thousands of 25-year-olds that have a security clearance that don't leak information.
All right, Gregg, your thoughts on this?
She can be fired for a reason or no reason at all. And, she does not enjoy the same First Amendment rights that the rest of us do by virtue of her special, sensitive position as a government contractor. So forget about that.
Well, Greg, hold on. She's got
I'm going to jump in here. I have something to ask. Think about this.
If you work
for Goldman Sachs, if you are, say, a consulting firm that's doing work for Goldman Sachs, and you start tweeting out obscenities about Goldman Sachs, well, guess what? You're not going to be allowed to do that consulting work for Goldman Sachs. So why would we employ any other different kind of standard?
The other thing is I think you don't see these intelligence analysts out there necessarily tweeting on political issues. In fact, many of them just stay clear of it because it becomes controversial for them. I mean, I've spoken to intelligence analysts who you will ask them a question about a particular case, they will not comment on it. I mean, I think that they take their job very seriously in terms of ensuring that, again, that their loyalty is to that organization and to the highest standards of that organization. So I think with Winter, it was very clear that her loyalty was to an outside cause. It was to the resistance. It was to something else where she felt that she could break the law and release this classified information.
And look at the damage she did. She horribly damaged U.S. intelligence gathering in national security, because now the Russians know how we went about detecting their cyber hacking and malware. So now they're going to go around that, do something different. We're going to have to invent new methods. I mean, this is horrible.
Do you think she should get bail? Should she be able to be released on bail?
Absolutely no bail. She still is a security risk. She can communicate with other individuals about classified information that she has in her head. No bail, lock her up, go right to sentencing, throw the book at her.
Well, I'm not sure Gregg is going to be the judge on that. She could get bail.
I wish I were.
I know you do, Gregg. Listen, she could get bail. She could get home monitoring. It could be a high bail for that matter, and she still won't get out. But again, Trish, I want to get back to this point. I understand the fact that she leaked this secure information. I don't endorse that at all. But what I will say is this. If she was using profanity and if she didn't support the president, she's free to do that under her First Amendment. However, I think Gregg is right about this, too, that she would probably be fired if somebody was monitoring her a lot better because of the profanity and if it gets to an extreme level.
I agree, and I don't think that they are monitoring people that are contracted to work for the government enough. I think we saw that through Ed Snowden. We're seeing this through Winter.